I'll admit I'm not really a Warhammer, fan. I never got into it, but I've been learning more about the lore of Warhammer ever since this controversy of female Custodes has come out. And I always go on the side of egalitarian, because I think we live in a society, and society is made up of diverse persons, and I think every person should be treated not by their sex or the color of their skin, but as or their sexual orientation, but as individuals, and we should treat them as individuals. And this should be true in our fiction as well, because fiction, even though it's not real, it does align with how we feel as a culture. Our fictional works do affect our culture, and so when you have Warhammer, you have a faction in Warhammer that's made up of only men, and the reasoning for this is because men are stronger, and you can't have female Custodes because females aren't as strong as men. That can be problematic within the culture. Do we live in an egalitarian society or don't we? If we live in an egalitarian society, then everyone should be treated as equal. And so females should not be discriminated against in the lore of Warhammer by saying that there can be no female Custodes. Now, my very novice understanding of the lore is that there is this emperor, and this emperor, he likes to select genes and DNA and manipulate them to create the strongest soldiers, and that's how you get the Custodes. And of course, he's going to select male genes and male DNA because they make for stronger soldiers, right? Although logically this may make sense, it's not equality. Equality would say, I am going to select genes that look and DNA that look like they could, despite their genetics, despite their sex, create the strongest soldiers. And some females might be included in that mix. Because I guarantee you, there are some females today that are just as strong, if not stronger, than the majority of men. You have females, in sports and in wrestling, and you have female soldiers. We have female soldiers today that are just as capable as men. And so why can't there be female Custodes? I know some fans of Warhammer are upset about this because it's changing the lore. But look, this isn't the first time that fiction has been modified or changed or edited to fit the changing of the tides, right? The changing of the time. We used to see male and females as a binary. The further you go back in history, the less egalitarian we were. More we separated people by their sex, by their class, by their race, right? We're trying to get beyond that, right? We're trying to get to a more egalitarian type of world, egalitarian type of society. Martin Luther King's dream of treating everybody not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Judge ye not what a person can do, but how they can do it, or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, no, but I like the idea of Custodes being all male, but that's just me being pious, right? That's just me being a male who thinks, deep down, I am better than women. And so I would like the strongest warriors in the galaxy to all be men because I am a man and I know I'm stronger than women. You know, it's kind of like, come on, man, just get over it, okay? Just accept that there are some strong women out there, and there's some Custodes in the mix that are also female that beat your ass. Democracy is kind of like mutates, doesn't it? I mean, if you really think about it, it mutates. I was thinking, if we were to make monsters out of political systems, democracy would be this ever-shifting, shape-shifting kind of like monster. I could see like the skin like bubbling from underneath, like boils as it changes and into a different kind of a monster. Whereas like a more dictatorial kind of governance, that kind of monster would just be this stern brute force that's unwavering and unwilling to move. So what gives the mutant monster that's always shape-shifting and changing a hand up over the brute force monster that is just solid? Well, it's science, right? It's the theory of evolution. The ability to adapt, to change, the ability to mutate, the ability to adapt to your surroundings, adaptation, as it were. That is what survival is all about. Adaptation, adapting to your environment. Because the environment never stays the same. And so if you're not willing to change with the times or change with the environment, you're going to have a really hard time. And that's where a democracy has a foot up on other forms of political systems. See, in a democracy, politicians, if they're not corrupted by the machine, which some may argue they are, but in an actual democracy, a democracy that's run for and by the people and voted in by the people, is an ever-shifting, shape-shifting monster that can evolve and adapt into any situation and environment it currently finds itself in.